Even he had too many red flags for me.
And that does say something.
And now, CheezWits.
Boom. Keeps making a sound. Boom.
It must sound different on my side.
One of my dogs is missing.
What do you mean?
Only for about a half hour, though. Well, 45 minutes.
Like it ran away?
She went up in the woods.
Oh.
Well, they both went up in the woods. But I whistled to him and he came right back. Her, no.
I took a video a little while ago of my dog. I was standing at the back door yelling to her. She wasn't coming. I walk out on the deck and look over the railing, and there she is, just sitting in the sunshine, actively ignoring me.
No, mine usually they don't ignore, but I'm wondering, I think she might be coming into estrus.
Your dog isn't fixed?
No, she's not. No.
Oh.
She's not. She's not fixed. I'm not fixed either.
You should handle that.
I'm not fixed either. Are you fixed? Almost. On your way.
Close enough.
Choice of natural selection. You'll be fixed.
Don't tell the government in Tennessee.
You'll be fixed soon enough.
All right, them.
I'm sorry, Jess. You're going to have to leave Tennessee because you're no longer able to produce any livestock.
In The Handmaid's Tale, I'm going to have to be the lady who oversees all of the handmaids. Yells at them.
What do you mean? What do you mean Jessica ain't breeding no more?
Punishes them.
What do you
mean? Well, nature is taking over.
Oh, nature's inbreed. Oh, well, at least your monthly visitor will stop.
Yeah, there's a good thing. Look at that, Jess. You'll save money, but no doubt Trump will try to say, well, you're saving money. That's going to have to come to the government now. So we want whatever you are spending in egg tools.
My big, beautiful menopause bill.
Right.
Okay.
Very beautiful menopause.
All the money I'm saving on egg tools, you say.
Jess, is this going to make you more of a bitch? I'm just curious.
Chris, I've been in a menopause for a year, so
you'll be more of a bitch.
You tell me.
Well, I have noticed a change.
There's a degradation happening. There's an absolute degradation. Man, I got to tell you what, folks, it is warm here and it is southern humid here right now.
Here too.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty here. 91 and very thick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite thick here. It's very at least when I live in, it's very close. The air is touching us.
Yeah,
you feel it, and I'm sweating just sitting here. And I've just put on the air conditioner. Normally it stays warm, but it's just goddamn humid.
My air conditioner won't stop.
All right.
Yes, I am. I'm glowing. I'm aglow.
And you're kvetching about schwitzing, so that's fine.
Yeah. I am kvetching about. Well, suddenly I've gone somewhere else.
Where have you gone?
I'm cease-firing, so I cannot say anything bad about you since I'm kvetching about spitzing, spritzing, spitzing, slitzing, skitzing.
Schlemiel, schlemazel.
Oh, Lord, what a good show. Thank you.
Did this just turn into a hate crime? What the fuck just happened here? Schlemiel, schlemazel, fuck the Israelis. Da, 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 da.
Hey,
we don't do that.
Have we received no further correspondence from our fake ID person?
Yeah, what's that? Funky douchebag? What was his name?
Yeah, funky douchebag.
Dingleberry? I don't think. Dingus. Yeah.
Genghis.
I don't think
Genghis.
Has. Let's just see.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's nice.
I don't think he
I'm
has.
glad he's on board with us.
Didn't we find out that that's not shocking a real person?
Oh, well, it's at least the photo is of a real person.
But it's not him.
I think it
He
wasn't
stole the
real
photo
person.
from someone else.
What was it that? Yeah, was the other person? Was that person's name Mem or something like that, or Nem?
I don't.
Clem.
I don't remember.
No, that definitely was not a clem.
Chlamydia?
That was way too
Chlamydia.
metrosexual. Way too metrosexual to be chlamydia. Way too much.
No,
That was a bow tie.
I just checked the YouTube. He has not commented. So
Found somebody else
maybe
to
he's
stick
busy
the pet on.
finding our home addresses so he can dox us.
Oh God.
God, I hope so.
I don't.
Which,
that
by the
whole
way, I
thing
just want him to know that if he does that, we're just going to have to keep talking about more things on the show. Like
That's correct.
that would be show prep.
That would be it would be, as long as none of us get shot. As long as
if we didn't die, it would still be show prep.
Yeah, well, true. You know, from a hospital bed, from a gurney, from a gurney with an attorney.
Yep.
Here we go.
But here's the thing,
Chris.
Nobody asked for this.
Chris, you're what about 4 days out from your thing, and everything got taken care of?
I'm 4 days out from my thing.
From your bowling thing.
We locked the doors on Monday.
On Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
So 3 days out, and that's it.
That's it. And you know what I did? That Monday I was there all day taking trash out. You know what I did yesterday?
Not a goddamn thing.
Didn't get out of bed until 3:30 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I was so fucking tired.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it.
Hey. Yeah, my daughter is moving today and tomorrow. She's obviously not ever worked in radio, because she's just I'm overwhelmed with this moving stuff. Get a radio job. See how many times you move.
Listen, even as many times as I moved in radio, when I moved into this house, I was still overwhelmed with the moving stuff.
Yeah. What is the overwhelming part for you? Is it the where to start?
No, when I start, I'll usually start in like a room I don't use as often, the guest room or something. And I'm very like, the books go in this box and this goes in this box. And then by the time I get done, I'm like, oh, fuck it. And I just like start shoveling shit into trash bags. And if there's still boxes left over, the boxes, I write random shit on the top of the box. If I write anything at all, like it's like, I look at my house and I go, I don't have that much stuff. And then I go to put it into boxes and it's like, fuck, why do I have so much stuff?
Yeah. And it's hard to determine what to toss out.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're looking at, it's like, why do I have so much stuff? And then you're like, why do I specifically have this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck am I going to do with a sewing kit from 1923? What am I going to do with it?
But it's got a radio logo on it, so that's why I kept it.
We're talking to Chris about having stuff laying around.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 houses full of stuff.
I'm about to say, you haven't even seen the garage of the new place yet. It looks like a goddamn disaster.
With the
looks
clocks?
like people have been. Oh, well, no, it's the clocks. Can't even see them anymore. There's too many boxes up in front of them.
Well, I am proud to say that you can park your car in all 3 bays of our 3-bay garage.
Oh,
Every
Mr. Big
single
Spender's
bay
got a 3-bay garage. I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see how it is. He's got a 3-bay garage. You've got
every single one.
Woman with no arms. So I don't know what I have.
Every single bay can take a car, a full-size car, not like 2 cars in one of those battery-operated Jeeps that kids drive around, a Barbie mobile. Yes, all the bays are full. 3 Barbie mobiles, and we're able to park. Which, for about 2 years, only 2 of the bays were usable. And then
my garage is fine. I mean, I just have so much. I still have so much shit in this house, and I know I need to, like, especially after having cleaned out my parents' house last year. Like, I really want to go through my stuff and start getting rid of things. But also that's so much work, and I just don't want to.
So what is the goofiest thing that you found when either in moving or just going through your shit saying, what the fuck? So the goofiest thing I found is an old briefcase that had a couple of reel-to-reels in it. And on the briefcase, I had a a splicing block was attached to the briefcase.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why, and I know it was from college days.
So you could edit on the road?
Yeah, because I had a little like Tascam or whatever TAC reel-to-reel at home that I would practice splicing with.
I will say, I don't think I found this when I was moving. I think I found it a few years before I moved when I found it the weekend of when the bomb went off in downtown Nashville and it knocked out all the cell phone service and internet service and everything. And so I couldn't watch TV and I couldn't talk on the phone or do anything on the internet. And so I was like, well, let me clean out the guest room closet. And I hadn't, like, there was so much shit crammed in there that I hadn't looked in where the fuck did Wally go? Where did he go?
Oh, the nefarious bitch has returned.
Oh, there was so much shit that I was just like pulling stuff out, and I hadn't dug through it in probably since I moved, and we had crammed all the shit in there, and I had lived with the shithead when I first moved into that house, and so I started pulling stuff out and just throwing stuff away and getting rid of stuff, and I found one of those like accordion file folders.
Yes.
That he had hidden from me. That was like a whole bunch of, I guess he forgot he had hidden it then after he did that. But it was like a bunch of paperwork. I don't even remember now what it was, but it was shit that he was intentionally hiding from me.
Really?
Yeah. And then
like hotel receipts?
No, nothing. He's like, he would have paid for hotels. He couldn't have afforded to do that.
No, we're going to do that other girl right in the marital bed. That's where we're going to go.
That's right. He was probably bringing him to the house.
That's horrible.
I'm serious. He was probably bringing him to the house.
Oh, God.
Like when one of my neighbors said to me, "That was your husband?" I was like, "Oh, something happened here." But I also found the other goofy thing I found was aside from like a gift bag full of gift bags, maybe 3 gift bags full of gift bags, I found a whole bunch of gift cards. So I had to go through and check every one of them. And some of them had like nothing left on them. And some had like $1.47 left on them. Like little like restaurant gift cards and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So those wouldn't show up on your credit card statement. He'd buy them on the sly as a grocery store purchase.
Yep.
You saying, Jesus Christ, you spent $75 at the grocery. You got a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and 2 Twix bars.
And a stick of butter.
How much did milk come to?
That's right.
Oh, my Lord. I didn't know that was your husband. Who was that young Korean boy going in the house with him?
Jess, I didn't know you had a houseboy.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know you had a boy who came in and cleaned. Oh, yes, you did.
Playing something.
Not for you. He was
I had
a pipe cleaner.
I clean the knob.
Oh, God. See, there's the part that gets us hurt right there.
It is, because nobody asked for this.
Now Blort Dingus is going to have to dox us again.
Oh, boy.
God. He's going to He's going to be calling the feds. Hey, they've got a Korean national on the show.
Tell you what, Blort, let me just make this easy for you, Blort. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Everybody was kung fu fighting, friend. So don't come to my home. Yeah, how about you, Chris? Now you are the master of hoarding, I believe.
I don't think it's really hoarding. I mean, hoarding is when you can't walk around your house. You can't step over your shit.
Hoarding. He's hoarding garbage.
Yes, that's it. I'm caught in the garbage, bitches. That's it.
When it's trash, it's hoarding. When it's what Chris has, it's collecting.
Well, you see, but here's the thing. The stuff that I have, I think I have a legitimate purpose for. Like, there's got to be somebody that's going to need all these bowling pins one day. There's got to be. There's got to be.
You say bowling pins like I say nuts and bolts.
Yeah. Well, look, my father comes by the bowling alley, okay, as we're closing things down. And this man is walking around with reusable shopping bags and just throwing everything he can find inside of them. Okay, the wrench here, screwdriver here, box of new staples here, D-cell batteries here, all going in the bag, pens, all this sort of shit. And he's holding 2 bags. He walks out the door and says, well, love you, son. All right. Love you too, Dad. I said, good, I'm glad you do. Remember that in 5 years, because there's enough shit in these bags to fuck with you one day. I said, okay. Right.
Is it because he thinks those things might come in handy, or is it like stealing toilet paper and office supplies from a radio station? Is it like that?
Dude, there's this meme going around. I think it came from maybe the Babylon Bee or something.
Oh,
and
the Babylon Bee.
It says on there, man finally uses piece of 2x4 that he's had in his garage for 30 years, just in case.
That was the Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was It made me. I don't laugh very often at the stuff they have, but that one made me laugh.
No, that made me laugh because I mean we all relate to it. Every one of us relates to it. You know, I don't know when I'm going to need that steno machine.
Do you know how many Allen wrenches I have?
I'm probably not as many as I do after cleaning out the bowling alley.
I fucking have so many Allen wrenches from just piecing, stupid furniture pieces
and then
together.
You keep it because you never know when you might need it.
You might need another one because God forbid the next piece of shit furniture you buy doesn't come with it.
I also have, not only do I have the individual ones that have come from every piece of shit furniture, but I have 2 of those little holders that are full of all the different sized ones.
SAE and metric.
And one of the pieces of furniture came with an Allen wrench that has a handle on it. So but the size of the Allen wrench itself is too big for most of the stuff because I try to use it on I'm like, I'm keeping this. And then I got a ratchet screwdriver that you can take the little bits out.
Those are nice.
And it's got the Allen wrench pieces on the end of it.
Yeah, those are nice.
My Lord.
What about the one that's it's like a T shape? It's a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips head screwdriver on one end, and then the other end is two sockets for whatever you're putting together. You're like, ooh. And I also have, and I don't even know I have it anymore, I have the spring puller for a trampoline. It's like a little hook that you put on the spring.
So you can pull
really hard to pull the spring and put it on the part of the trampoline, the circle. We don't even have a fucking the trampoline actually blew away. Well, in
1978.
In a rainstorm, blew around, smashed into the side of my plow truck, and just didn't ruin the plow truck, but put a big dent in it, but bent that damn trampoline all up. Had to be taken apart and thrown away. Had to have the metal collector come, or the metal guy who grabs metal and cashes it in for 30 cents. Those guys are all over the place. So it's not hard to find a guy who will come to your house and collect metal and just take it away. Sometimes they charge depending on how much they're.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I couldn't find anybody to come to the bowling alley and take the rest of the metal that was there. And I had like 15 copper motors that I'm like, just get out of here. Get out of here. And I left them behind. So
you couldn't get rid of copper?
Copper motors. Couldn't get rid of them.
Well, they stopped making the penny. They don't need the copper anymore.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Did you? Now, the question of, did you sell the pizza ovens?
Yes, I did. The pizza ovens, all 3 of them for $500.
Woo!
500 for all 3 together?
For all 3. Mm-hmm.
What a fucking steal.
Absolutely it was. But I'm glad I could get rid of it.
Was it the Pakistani guys?
No, it was actually the guy that bought the pin setters. His friend wanted them for his house. And I said, fuck, just take them. $500. Go.
Yeah, that's because, well, the 2 things about you just want to get rid of them, and getting the $500 is great. You do not want to fucking be carrying those things out by yourself.
No, they're heavy as fuck.
Oh,
man.
They're so fucking heavy. I assume that they have those heavy clay pizza stones in them, or they
yeah, no, they got the stones.
Those fucking things those stones are so heavy.
Oh yeah,
they're fucking heavy. Well, that was lucky for you.
Well, and then somebody actually came and bought the lanes at the last second. I think we were going to get rid of the lanes, but I mean that was an extra $10,000 in our pocket.
Nice.
Now,
Yeah.
was it a bowling alley at the bottom, or somebody's just going to use them like for flooring?
A guy that installs bowling lanes bought them because he knows he can sell them to somebody else for more than
Nice.
Pulling them out was.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
And that's fine because I don't
That's
care.
good
Because I was gonna leave them there. I was gonna just leave them, and guys like, hey, you're selling the lanes? We can get them out. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yes, I am.
Have at it, my friend.
You are goddamn right. We're selling them.
Well, that's some good. That was so. I'm going to guess that some of those might have been cash sales.
I'm going to say that a lot of those were not reported sales. That's correct.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Will you be taking an excursion to a fantasy island at any time?
No, but I will tell you, we went to the casino right after I got a little bit of it the other day. And
a little taste.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's $700. Let's go in. Let's go have a good time. And we go into $700 and yada, 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 yada. And it turned it into $1,400. So that's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not upset.
No, doubling the money for found money is great.
Absolutely.
Well, that's fantastic. And again, the 700, not that the winnings not claimable.
That's correct. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's all,
and I'm still waiting for 2 checks from people. I got $1,000 check coming from one guy and another one from for $750 coming from people. So I mean, it's all just found mailbox money.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for iHeart to send me money because they still haven't sent it, even though they said we're sending it.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but the state of Tennessee is giving me $292 a week. So,
ooh, and you have to do nothing except for
off that government hit, huh, Jess?
Except for
I applied for this job.
Yep. Jump through. I have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops and click I understand on the fraud warning so that I'm not trying to defraud the state of Tennessee out of $292 a week.
While they try to defrock you of any money.
Yep.
And that's, since it's the government tit, I think it's fair to say that Tennessee, small government tit, very small tits in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
not a lot there.
But listen, I had to call the Social Security office yesterday because I'm trying to figure out how to get my mother's getting survivor benefits from my stepfather and
marriage license.
So I do have to get their marriage license. The lady was like, "Do you have their marriage license?" I went, "No." Yeah. And she was like, "We're gonna need a certified copy of that." And I was like, she said, "Do you know where they got married?" I said, it was either Reno or Tahoe.
Whichever's trashier.
I don't know.
Oh,
so I did find it and I called and I got that taken care of. But first of all, when I go to call, like on the website, it says to sign up for survivor benefits, you have to call and tell the agent you need to make an appointment to sign up for survivor benefits. But obviously it's not as easy as it says on the website because when you call, you get the automation. And you jump through all the automation hoops. So it says, tell me what you're calling about. I say, survivor benefits. This motherfucking recording tells me what survivor benefits are, but doesn't give me any options about anything other than to learn more, say, learn more. So I said, learn more. It says, you can learn everything you need to know about Social Security and do most of your business on our website. And then it hung the fuck up on me.
Well, I too had to get a marriage license because my wife, she's worked for the same company in one iteration or another for 30 years. And they're now requesting, because of survivor benefits and just insurance to make sure I'm her husband, she had to get our marriage license. Like we fucking have a marriage license laying around. I mean, we do have our certificate from the pastor. But I got to tell you, so motherfucking easy.
Oh, yeah.
I called down to get it. I spoke to, I spoke to Mallory. And during my conversation with Mallory, I kept getting fucking distracted because all I could think of was Family Ties. and I had to ask Mallory to repeat, but she was very nice, very kind. She told me exactly what to do. It was, of course, wrote a 2-line letter, said, what my name is, what.
Oh, they made you write a letter?
Yeah, well, because I'm not in person, I guess.
I mean, the hardest part for me was figuring out where they got married, and I searched my mother's Facebook and figured out that it was in Reno, and then I called the county whatever office in Reno because the website said you have to write a letter, and I was like, I'm not writing a fucking letter, fuck that. So I called, and I said to the lady who answered the phone, I said, I'm trying to get my mother set up for survivor benefits because my father passed away, and they need their marriage certificate, and so I'm hoping that you can, or their marriage license, I'm hoping you can tell me the fastest and easiest way to do that. And she says, oh, what was your father's name? I tell her. She says, your mother's name? I tell her. She says, that'll be $15. I'll mail it out today.
15? Yes, I had to send a letter because everybody's alive. But $2.
It's not my money. I used my mother's money to buy it.
I know, but $2. And my wife had gone to a web page or went to the web and was trying to get the information, trying to figure it out. And of course, they're going to like vital statistics dot whatever, $50, $75. I said, listen, so I'm better at this stuff than she is. I know, hard for y'all to believe, but I'm better at it than she is. I'm really good at statistical stuff and logistics, and my wife's not. So I said, let me do it. And I did it while driving in my car, right? Working and just calling the place and yada, 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 and getting it all done. But yeah, I had to write a quick note and send a SASE. It made me, you know what?
I don't have to do any of that.
But it made me feel like there was something right with the world, having to do something that I expected to have to do.
Oh, Chris has left the meeting.
I thought he was going to because I started to hear a weird noise.
Maybe it was his phone ringing.
Yeah, but I don't know if his phone was ringing or he was had his mouth full of something.
But my whole thing was, as I'm talking to this lady, oh, there he is. As I'm talking to this lady at the Social Security office, and obviously it's a whole nother layer of stuff because I am not my mother. I'm calling on her behalf. And so she has to find out things about me. She has to have my Social Security number and, my information. And I have to provide documentation that shows I'm the guardian and I'm legally allowed to
hoop after
make all of these decisions for my mother. So she's required to ask me these questions. And one of the questions was, is there a felony warrant out for your arrest? And my instinct was it took everything I had not to go.
You want to fuck yourself so bad.
Right? It took everything I had not to go, well, not that I know of, but I guess anything's possible because that would have fucked the whole
you would have fucked yourself so bad. Then you would have had to go in person.
I mean, that's like the first time I had to get
wearing an anklet.
The first time I had to get a mammogram, and the lady said, "Are you pregnant?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I guess it's possible." And she went, "Are you pregnant?"
Oh, she was taking none of that shit.
This is not funny.
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody asked for this. Oh, Jess, had you said that if you had said something like, well, no, I have an anklet, but it's really not related to anything.
And this is after she said something like, what is your main source of income? My main source of income. And I was
State of Tennessee.
Well, as of a few weeks ago, I'm actually unemployed. I got laid off. And she said that there was this pause. And I was like, they're so going to think I'm trying to steal my parents' money.
Right.
And she goes, well, that sucks. And I said, yeah, it does. She said, are you collecting unemployment benefits? I said, yes, I am.
Can I tell you what so I think, and I really think that is a very sort of Southern or Southwestern or Southern thing to commiserate with people, to show empathy. If you called... Wow.
Excuse us.
If you called somewhere in the north, if you called somewhere in New England.
Well, I have no idea where this woman was.
Florida, somewhere else.
I was calling the National Social Security office. She could have been in the Northeast.
Well, maybe. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Reno woman.
No. This was the Social Security office.
Yeah, but if you called somewhere else in the Northeast or Florida, they would suspect you of every criminal thing possible. You would not have gotten through that.
Listen, I assumed that Elon Musk was listening in on the conversation the whole time, going, nope, abuse. Getting out his chainsaw.
So you posted something about getting closer with your Indeed offers, or I think you showed something that said this is closer. I think it was a voice tracking in Tennessee.
Oh, well, no, I was joking because it was like Korean voiceover or something.
Oh, it was
like the other LinkedIn jobs have been like pastor and like I don't know, fucking tractor driver, something, and this one was at least voiceover, but it was Korean voiceover, or Japanese or something.
I thought it said Tennessee for some reason, but I too have seen those. It'll say voiceover 20 voiceover jobs, and then you open it up and it's Korean, Lithuanian,
yeah.
But I do see quite a few. Next time I see one, I'm going to send it to you. I see ones that for video games. Have you seen those ones? They look for people to do video game characters.
Yeah,
you would be perfect.
I feel like I would, but that's a whole like subculture of voiceover that I haven't broken into yet. Because
you're taking that acting.
But that's another, like, it's its own culture of voiceover. And
it does feel
there's terminology and things that I'm not familiar with, so I would have to like really do a deep dive and learn that culture to get into it, which I've got time to do.
Feels like Jack Black territory, Dana Carvey territory, you know, Robin Williams if he was alive territory. It sounds like just.
I mean, have you ever, Wally? Have you ever played Candy Crush?
Yeah.
Have you played it with the sound on where you can hear? Because
not ever.
When I play it, but I generally do it with the sound off. But when I first started playing it, I would do it with the sound on, and the voiceover is like, "Oh yeah, like delicious, yellow? Sweet." Like, and I remember making a Facebook post going, "How does somebody get that job?" Like, somebody voiced that shit.
Easily, right? A good job. It's like, so before all this voiceover stuff and before all this the Indeed or the LinkedIn or going online and being able to find these jobs, I found it fascinating that, and I think I've said this before, that the woman, the airport announcements, it was the same woman who did almost all airport announcements across the country. I heard her interviewed. Fucking fascinating fucking shit. To listen to these people, or the people who did like whatever the GPS Navcom, I don't know what the hell they're called. What were those, Chris? What are the old destination? Garmin, yeah. And I had a Garmin.
I did too. I called her Judy Garmin.
Judy Garmin.
That's very nice, Eliza.
I call him Eric Garmin. We've just dated ourselves so badly. At least I have. Eric Garmin, and nobody will get that reference.
Although now Hungry Eyes is playing in my head, so thank you for that.
See, yeah, good. Perhaps speaking of Hungry, is that from? Where is that from? What movie is that from? Is that from?
Wasn't it in Dirty Dancing or something?
Is it Dirty Dancing?
Yeah.
Is that the same place? The Contours. What is the song? What is the Contours song?
Do You Love Me?
Yeah. Do You Love Me?
Yeah, that was in Dirty Dancing.
That's Dirty Dancing too. I fucking hated that song because no matter what fucking roadie gig I went to, when
because it was the most popular movie of the year.
Yeah, I was working at Q106 then, and when you go out and do a roadie gig, or some sort of fucking fraternity, fucking a sorority dance, fucking they loved that fucking song. And we had that, it was like a 12-minute version remix. It was really big in the 80s. It's like, fuck this. And really bad, by the way, all those remixes were really bad in the 80s compared to, had they waited 10 years, those remixes were way better. because it was such a novelty in the 80s to remix it and take a 3.5-minute song and make it 12 minutes. It was fucking crazy. I absolutely hated playing that song. I hated doing it. I hated as much as I hated old time rock and roll. Fuck that if I ever play that song again. Everybody wanted to hear old time rock and roll.
That's again from the movies.
Yeah, oh yeah. But people fucking loved it. Did you do any of the stations you were at do roadshow, like school dances and shit like that?
School dances?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well,
Yes FM might have.
I don't know. I don't know if they did them when I was there, but when I worked for Barlow, we did them, but it was fucking sweet because you'd make $125 for 3 hours of spinning records, and a roadie went with you, and you didn't have to do anything. Everything was set up for you. It was sweet.
I did it once filling in for somebody, and I think maybe it was at Yes FM, and it was the most traumatic job I had ever tried to do because I had never done it before, and people wanted you have to, as you know, you have to be able to, put together sort of a playlist on the fly.
Yes, you do.
And it was with CDs, but it wasn't my collection, so I didn't know where things were, and trying to find stuff fast, and I was doing the wrong ratio of fast songs to slower songs to it was so chaotic and so stressful that I have never wanted to do it again, ever.
Yeah. They can be rough. They can be rough, but I loved the money that came with those things because there was nothing, at least when I was the radio jobs I had, nothing paid more than that because they were paying like $25 an hour.
Remotes paid more.
Nah, well, I never made more than that. I didn't do many remotes.
We got like $100 an hour for remotes, didn't we?
Not me. Maybe at Yes after I was gone, but not me. I didn't do many remotes. I didn't do.
I do not miss remotes.
I never fucking the worst thing with doing a remote because Yes FM would have these. You know where we did Yes FM? I know the Coliseum in Cortland.
The Coliseum?
The Coliseum. Yeah, the Coliseum. I'm sorry, the Coliseum. Coliseum. We used to do those all the time.
I don't think I ever did those.
Oh, I used to do those.
Dem worked there all the time.
Wednesday night. Dem did it all the time. Yeah, Dem loved doing those because
he was good at it.
He was good at it, but he was also young.
Oh yeah, that's where all the girls were.
He was on the prowl, that guy.
I told you that's where he used to mock me with the music. When my friends and I would come in all Mary J. Bliged out, like with attitude on our face and like stand on the side of the dance floor with our arms crossed looking out. And every single time we did that, he would start working in, strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose. He did it every single time.
And Dem and his cohort was probably with him. Millman was probably with him because him and Millman were inseparable.
Yeah.
At a certain point. And fucking just those two guys, fucking whoever you've met in radio, two fucking good guys, just good, and they were young, but good. Dem was only like 18. I think he was 18 when I hired him. Yeah, and then I think when I left, he may have been 19. But fucking good guys, just good, hardworking motherfuckers who wanted to learn and loved fucking radio. Loved it.
To me, it's kind of funny and also endearing, though, to see him now as an adult and a girl dad.
Yeah, a girl dad, right?
Of all things.
He's a girl dad, and you say, like, Dem, what do you think of the 19-year-olds? Well, now his daughter's much older now, but what do you think of the 19-year-olds that might be around your daughter when she was 19? You know, he had to be like, "Oh, son of a bitch! Yeah, I remember me."
Yeah,
because he was a dog. He was definitely a dog.
For sure, he was.
He was on the problem, but also it was such a different time, right? it was a different sort of a time. You couldn't get away today with that sort of attitude.
Oh, you think men don't act like that today? Oh, okay, that's cute.
No, I think they do, but I think good bosses won't put up with it. At least I wouldn't put up with that, knowing that that's not. It's you're going to get fucked in the end, and also just to protect them.
Yeah.
Because part of your job as a boss is to protect your employees, and 19-year-olds are going to be 19-year-olds, but you've got to tell them, listen, you can't be 19, you have to be 25.
The problem is that we've talked about this before. I think a lot of men in radio don't think that way. They think that they are untouchable and that they're some sort of, I don't know, that they have some sort of power because they're on the radio and they're famous, I say, in quotes. They believe their own hype, and that a lot of times goes all the way up the line to the PD or the operations manager. They believe that because they are in this business, that they are above those rules.
Thank God.
See?
Well, I think there's Radio 50s famous, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
Radio's 50s famous. And then you can see how it changes over time. By the time 80s comes along, big cities are where famous. No longer, smaller markets are you as famous as
I was
you were
famous in Frederick. Chris, was I famous in Frederick?
Your name, ma'am?
Right. So you're 80s, 90s famous, right?
But in the 2000s.
It changes. It changed. Like, so I
in
was
the late
famous
2000s.
I was famous in Massachusetts when people were bringing me food and best DJ trophies, but it's small town famous, so much different than Scott Shannon famous.
Oh yeah.
Or one of those fucking guys, Steve Kingston famous.
Yeah.
Or those guys. Chris, how about you? What was your fame?
Let's see. I don't remember exactly the fame per se, but I do remember that I was at the grocery store after I left a station, and it was about a year later, and you still had to hand over your credit card at that point.
Yep.
So I handed him the card and looked at my card and said, "Oh my God, you used to be Chris Roth."
Oh my God.
Sure as fuck did.
Yeah.
Sure as fuck did.
Used to be. The
weirdest one is I was at a 7-Eleven going into the radio station one night, getting a Slurpee routine. And I hear these kids talking. And these kids are like, okay, we're all going to go over to Chris Roth's house this weekend and, use his pool and whatever else. And then we're going to go. I said, whose house are you going to? And they look at me because I'm an old man, even though it was 20 years ago.
What?
I'm like, whose house are you going to? It says Chris Roth. And I handed them my ID. I said, huh. And she said, oh my God, you know what? There's also one on the radio. Yeah, Toots, that's me.
Wally, why are you holding up a piece of paper with Chris Roth's last name on it?
Oh, I just because I thought we didn't want to say that.
Who gives a flying fuck?
We've said it in every episode, just about.
Oh, okay. All right.
And for those that are looking for the spelling, it's ROCK.
Yes, it is.
Well, now it's out. Everybody hates you, Chris.
By the way, Chris, it took me until the replay. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when you were talking about the silent H?
Uh-huh.
So it took me until when I was listening back to that episode to put it together with the intro and the end and everything and upload it to realize that your name also has a silent H in it.
See?
All right.
Wally had to do math there for a second.
Yeah. All right, as in WRIGHT. All right. With a silent H.
All right.
Another silent H.
After we're done here, I have a 2-hour drive going up north helping my youngster move.
So she's still in that house with the dude with the cans of pee?
You know what? No, she's done with her new house. She's moving into her new place. No, she's been staying here and she's been staying at the new place. She hasn't got all her stuff. It's partially furnished. So she brought stuff up for what she needed, but now she's bringing her cats up and all her other stuff.
Got it.
Which is carloads of stuff, and I'm going to bring up a carload of stuff for her as well. But man, oh man, it's a lot of shit. It's such an accumulation.
I had a dream the other night that I've been having bizarre dreams lately, but I had a dream that I had to move, but I was living in a one room of a rooming house or something.
Oh, okay.
And I had all my shit, like not all of the shit that I have now, but I had way too much shit crammed into this one room. And so in the dream, there were a couple of friends there with me, and I was going, I got to get rid of a lot of this shit because the room I'm moving into is even smaller. And they were helping me figure out what to get rid of. And then my mother came walking in from the next room, fully able and functional. Like it was my mother from 20 years ago.
Right.
And she came in from the next room and started spouting off a whole bunch of shit about Trump. And then in between saying bizarre things about like pro-Trump things, she was saying terrible things about me until I left the room.
You know what, Jess? I'm listening, trying to figure out. Okay, all right, the small space, maybe just feeling a little closed, but then all of this other shit. I can't make heads or tail of what the meaning behind that dream might have been that you were clearing out of your conscious.
I don't know, Wally. It could be maybe, and this might be weird, but maybe I'm a little stressed.
Yeah, maybe, but it's so many different things.
Well, there are so many different things
the closed in. There's the
happening in my life.
Mom.
Yeah.
There's the Trump.
Oh, I had a dream a couple days later that my mother died and my stepfather was still alive.
Oh, my word.
I woke up from that dream and I specifically looked at my watch. It was 6:41 a.m. And then I looked at my phone to see if they had called to tell me that my mother died.
Holy.
I basically spent that whole day sort of waiting for the phone call.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? This is absolutely serious.
Yes.
Just based on knowing your life over the past 15 years and beforehand from what you told me. Uh-huh. When you didn't get that call, were you disappointed?
Listen, I was thinking that, but I didn't want to ask.
Well, that's why I'm here, Wally. That's why I'm here. Because if somebody called me and look, if somebody told me my father was dead, you would have to lock me in a rubber room for 6 months. Okay. I mean, there's no qualms about it.
You have somebody told me,
if somebody told me my mother died, I'd be like, huh.
Yeah. I mean, no, I wasn't disappointed. I don't wish her dead, but I don't think I'll be that sad when it happens.
Yeah. Understandable.
Look, I'll be sad for my father.
I was devastated when my stepfather died.
But, if I will be sad for my dad if my mother dies first. But if dad goes first, I mean, it's like, okay, well, my parenting is kind of over here. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll feel worse for my sister because she's still trying to maintain a relationship with my mother, which I don't understand why. And I told her that. I was like, listen, I don't know why you want to do stuff for her, but you have your own therapist. So you should do what you're going to do. But she's very much like, I feel like she's at the end of her life and maybe we could do this and maybe we could do that. And she's like really just going out of her way to do things and help her. And I'm like,
But why is she feeling any guilt?
Because I think my sister has always held out hope that there would be some sort of Hallmark card, like mother-daughter relationship there.
She's picturing Shirley MacLaine and somebody else in a movie somewhere.
Yeah, something.
Let's get Shirley MacLaine and Deborah Winger and have a reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was having a conversation with my daughter just about this. She was talking about the stress she was feeling from her breakup and things like that. And I just said, just forgive and move on. Just let it be. Mm. It is the most cathartic thing you can do. Mm. Don't rehash. Try to figure out what could you have done better. What did you do wrong?
No, it's not about her.
That's what I'm trying to explain to her. It's not about you. When someone's an asshole, they're an asshole, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're an asshole from the time they wake up to the time to go to bed, and they're an asshole to everybody they meet in between. Don't fucking take any of that responsibility or weight onto yourself. Fuck it. Just fuck it.
Fuck that guy.
That's what I'm telling you. Fuck it. Well, that's what I wanted to show. I didn't save it. I had 2 short videos, like 15-second videos of the inside of the place. And I was going to check my phone and I was going to send them to you, but I deleted them. But fucking tragic. Just
his place?
Unbelievable. Huh?
His place or her new place?
No, his place. It was just full of junk and shit, and there was she's stepping over stuff, and it's like little paths, like a hoarder, to go through, but it's just junk and just bullshit. Just leaves it there. And my son says, "Well, that's the way guys live." And I said, "Whoa! I got to tell you something. I'm a guy." "Yeah, but I'm talking about single guys." He says, "I was a single guy. And no, I never lived that way. I took showers every day. I cleaned shit up. I went to the laundromat. I washed dishes and I cooked and I did regular shit." And I wasn't an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get laid regularly, you can't be an asshole. You know, that's just the way it is.
Speaking of assholes, when I was still employed, there was one coworker that I just did not get along with. We butted heads on everything, and I wasn't the only one. His communication style is
contrary, Carl.
His communication style is very condescending. He used to try to tell me how to do my job until I was like, "Let me tell you something. I've been doing this since about the time you were born. So I feel like I have a good handle on how to do what I do." Okay. Yeah. And he didn't do what I do. He had some knowledge and some input in my job. Like, he worked on the back end stuff, but we would butt heads all the time about stuff. But today, out of all of my former coworkers who are still employed there, he is the one who texted me the link to a job he found on LinkedIn. And he said, "You've probably already seen this, but I wanted to make sure in case you wanted to apply for it." It was
the Korean voiceovers.
It was not the Korean voiceover job. It was actually a good job. He said, "I saw this and I thought of you and I wanted to make sure you saw it." He said, "You're missed around here." Like, I was like,
yeah,
we do live in the upside down right now. So
when you start losing the people who are doing the work, and now you're tasked with trying to do the work you thought you knew how to do, but you have figured out you have no idea how to do it. And this happens all the time, right? In all kinds of fields, but in radio it happens a lot because everybody thinks they're a program director.
Well, and everybody thinks that the job is easy.
Right. They think it's easy. They think that,
I slept through 20 hours a week. Of course it was easy.
It was easy if you knew how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If it's easy if you know how to do it, if you've put in your fucking 10,000 hours getting there.
Right.
That's
everything is easy when you put your 10,000 hours in to get there.
That's correct.
And we all have done that 10 times over for the most part. We've put in our 10,000 hours several times over. So it is easy, sort of, kind of. Unless you're the kind of person who does your 10,000 hours and then don't want to pass any of that knowledge on.
Right.
Because then you put your 10,000, another 10,000, then you spend another 10,000 hours passing fucking the skill set on to others so they can do it.
Dude, I had a guy, I love this guy. His name was Mark. And Mark had, well, watch out. Mark, had become a PD after I was gone from the station. But he used to say to me, he's like, "Hey, can you teach me how to be a program director?" I said, "Is that what you want to do?" He says, "Yeah, programming operations is what I want to do." I said, "You're serious?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "All right, well, I'll be happy to teach you. Just wake me up after my nap. It's about 2 hours, okay?" And there's your first lesson.
That's right.
I think probably the first lesson is you can't really teach a lot of that stuff. You can show, here's how I do it. Now you've got to find your own way to get from A to B, or A through B, C, D, E to get to Z. I can tell you this is how I do it because everybody's fucking different, right?
Yeah.
Some people do it with an iron fist. Some people do it soft. Some people convince you. Whatever. But it's nice to hear that somebody who's actually interested, Chris, in learning how to do it.
You want to be a good program director? Carve yourself out about 2 hours tomorrow morning for Phil to fucking yell at you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk.
You want to be a good program director? Try to figure out how to pay your employees when the fucking person who owns the building pays them nothing.
You want to be a good program director? Learn how to take a phone call from a listener who's irate about something you have literally no control over.
You want to be a good program director? Learn how to voice track on a fucking Gates producer console that only has one channel. Okay?
It's so good.
That's a true story. True story, Wally.
Mine's a true story. Trying to figure out how to pay people I'm getting paid.
You walked in the building, the basement of our building, where everything was, I'm not going to say modern, but it wasn't ancient.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go downstairs, big production room, and then there's little production room. Well, the little production room, they never upgrade. It's got a fucking 4-channel Gates producer in it.
Yep.
Okay. And that's where I had to voice track several times.
Every time I had to use that fucking little room, I spent more time trying to figure out why the shit wouldn't work than I spent actually doing the work.
Fuck yeah. I worked a couple of stations where it took longer to figure out how the fuck do I have no clue. And even when you've been shown 5 times how to do it, it seems like it changes differently each time because they said, we've made an upgrade. Now you only need 2 patch cords instead of 4 patch cords. And they don't tell you where those
Which
2
two
patch cords go anymore.
Yeah.
The best one was out in Winchester, and they had gotten another FM, and then there was an AM in the room, and you had to play the legal ID on the AM. Okay. And I went to do the legal ID on the AM after I was sitting in the other side of the room with doing the FM stuff because they didn't want the AM ID to be heard on the FM. So you had to play it separately off a separate computer. Well, the computer wouldn't go through the board for some reason. I'm like, all right. I was going to turn on the microphone, just WINC Winchester. Pretty simple. Turn the switch to the right on this rotary pot board. Fucking board fucking blew up. Fuse blew up inside of it. As soon as I turned on the fucking microphone.
Oh, shit.
Do you remember back when you'd carry like I worked in an AM where we carried whatever it was fucking overnight, I forget, from Westwood One. It was one of the guys.
Oh, Hannon?
And you had to change crystals?
Oh, my God, no.
I never had to do that.
Oh, I had to change. You had to go in and change the crystal so you could pick up a different satellite to bring it in. Yeah, Jim Bohannon. It was Jim Bohannon's show, I think it was. Bohannon and Overnight or something.
We were paid to run a satellite show one time, but the owner of the station refused to buy a satellite, so we got a fucking phone coupler hookup from New York.
Oh,
wow.
My fucking God. What was it, the phone coupler with the 2 little, the 2 ear hole mouth thing, and you pushed it down on top of it?
And
no, this was a Comrex frequency extender where you had to dial the number and then hit the switch up so you could hang up the phone, but the line stayed seized.
Was the owner named Norma?
Yeah, really.
Abby? Was it Abby Norma?
I tell you, if Bill Paris and Norma would have met, they would have had children. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, and we know did Norma have 2 children or just the one fuck up?
Didn't she have a daughter?
I thought she had a daughter who was not a fuck up.
Yeah, that's why she wasn't around.
Who was good? Who had long since given up.
She probably got her own job.
Yeah, probably. And then the fuck up son, who was living in a bank vault.
Mm-hmm.
And Norma Radio, AM, FM, and FU.
Basically.
Let me tell you something, Chris. That motherfucker was perhaps one of the just laziest piece of shits I ever met in my life.
Well, he was,
and then Jess marries him.
junkie.
It's the weirdest thing.
No, even he was too bad for my standards.
Oh boy. Okay.
Even he had too many red flags for me.
And
That does say something.
And and Jess was young then, so if she was going to fall for a bag, she might have fallen for a bag like that. But even
I was like, no, that's
tender age of like 19 or 20. No, Jess was probably 22 then.
Yeah,
right?
I would have been
22.
right out of college.
22,
so yeah,
22,
20.
23.
No, it was 96, so I was 24.
24.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep. So yeah, even those flags were even too red for me.
And she still doesn't like that. What the Chris, you okay?
Are you
Is that
drag
gas?
racing?
You had another burrito? What's going on?
Yeah. No, that was Ray Rock.
Wow.
That was
all right, you guys. I gotta make my move to.
That was a very loud rice rock.
oh, all right.
I gotta move. Oh, was that In-N-Out Burger? I gotta make my move to move up north and do some moving.
All right. Well, we'll
All
talk
right.
to you next week.
Fabulous week.
Bye, Blort.
Hey, you too. Hey, look.
Bye. That's beautiful. Bye, you guys.